The Hoka One One Rincon 2 was, well, it still is a great running shoe, but it offered a really minor update over the original Rincon. I mean, even if you take a closer look at the upper of the second version of the Rincon, the number 2 isn't even next to the name Rincon. Look at the third version of the Rincon, and what seems to be a similar shoe is actually a little bit different. I'm going to talk about how it compares after my first couple of runs in this video. Let's get into it. Now, if you're not familiar with the Hoka Rincon series, its major claim to fame, I think, is its cushion to weight ratio. It is a neutral running shoe and it falls part of the lightweight running shoe segment, but underfoot you get the same amount of cushioning as a Clifton 8. Another area where I think the Rincon 3 performs pretty strongly is in its price. In Australia, the Rincon 3 retails at $200, which is a pretty impressive price considering the same amount of cushioning in the more expensive Clifton 8 would set you back about $230 or $240. Having said that though, they are two different runners and they're built for different needs. The main criticism of the Rincon line in the past has been durability. It's not really built to be used for an extended period of time. There's a pretty limited amount of rubber underfoot, and as a lightweight trainer there is a tendency for the materials to be a little bit more flimsy, let's say. Now, while I will be giving my impressions of the Rincon 3 after my first couple of runs, I am going to compare it back to how it's changed from the Rincon 2. As I said at the top of the video, while the two shoes look fairly identical, there's actually been quite a big amount of changes to the shoes that have impacted how they ride. Starting with the stack. Now, while I haven't tested this myself, I have tried to research these figures, and what seems pretty consistent is that the Rincon 2 has a 32mm stack in the heel, a 27mm stack in the forefoot, giving a 5mm drop. There is a compression molded EVA midsole, which is exactly what we find in the Rincon 3, although Hoka say that this midsole has been tuned a little bit differently. The stack in the heel goes up a mil to 33mm and 28mm in the forefoot, giving us the same 5mm drop. And as far as the uppers go on the Rincon 2 and 3, while they both use a sandwich mesh, they've been executed differently on each shoe. The sandwich mesh on the Rincon 2 is more reinforced, and there are these overlays on either side of the upper or the shoe itself that give the shoe a more structured feel on foot. The sandwich mesh in the Rincon 3 is lighter weight and is vented right throughout the shoe, which only adds to the breathability that you're going to get from a lighter weight mesh upper. Another area where the two shoes differ up top is in their tongues. The tongue on the Rincon 2 was super lightly padded, but it did finish a little bit higher on the foot. The Rincon 3, though, that has one of these paper thin tongues, and while I've had mixed experiences with these sorts of tongues in the past, I haven't had an issue with slippage or anything like that on my first couple of runs, but it might be annoying for some to use a tongue that finishes a little bit lower on the foot. Going all the way down to the outsoles, where we will see that Hoka have redesigned the outsole pattern for the Rincon 3. But apart from that redesign, Hoka have also added some more rubber to the shoe to add with a little bit more durability to this particular model. In my version of the Rincon 2 that I've put probably a little over 100 Ks in, you can see that even at 100 Ks, that there is a fair bit of wear in the exposed foam areas of the shoe. I'm not sure how much durability the extra rubber will place, given it doesn't cover any of that midfoot area, but probably giving a little bit of additional rubber in those high impact areas in the heel and forefoot is going to assist in giving a longer lasting shoe. Time will tell. But with those changes out of the way, the most impressive change I think between the Rincon 2 and the Rincon 3 is the drop in weight. Hoka have added a little bit more foam underfoot, if those stats on the stack height are correct, and a little bit more rubber to give a little bit of extra durability. But the drop in weight up top has actually dropped the weight of the Rincon 3 by nearly 20 grams. My US Men's 13 version of the Rincon 2 comes in at 277 grams, while my US Men's 13 version of the Rincon 3 comes in at 259 grams. What I find most impressive about the Rincon 3's drop in weight is that Hoka have managed to balance addressing some of the issues the Rincon series has had in the past with durability, while also improving some of the things that the Rincon did really well, like its versatility. I've always enjoyed the Rincon 2's ability to go fast and scale back, and to offer a nice amount of cushioning in a lightweight package. The Rincon 3 offers that same cushioned experience, but in a lighter weight package. But it doesn't ride exactly the same as the Rincon 2. The compression molded EVA in the Rincon 3 feels softer in the heel area. I have a tendency to heel strike, and so I've really appreciated that softness in the heel. If you've never run in a Rincon series shoe, what you can expect is a really well cushioned ride. It's not a squishy sort of cushion though, so if you are thinking of a Zoom X type of setup, it doesn't offer that level of squish. What you're still getting though in the Rincon 3 with that early stage Meta Rocker design is a nice sense of propulsion as you transition from the heel to the forefoot. The only area that I've personally found the Rincon 3 to not be as good as the Rincon 2 is in the upper. I found that the lighter weight upper in the Rincon 3 feels a touch more sloppy as far as the fit goes. That can be fixed with making sure you get a good lockdown, but with the Rincon 2 I really like the way that they had placed the overlays on either side of the shoe to give the shoe itself a lot more structure up top. It just felt more secure on foot. The tongue also might be something that would get annoying over time, but I can't say it's given me any issues on my first couple of runs. I've actually never had an issue in recommending the Rincon series in the past. I've found it to be one of the best value running shoes on the market, purely because it offers the cushioning experience of the Clifton, which is more expensive, in a package that is lighter weight and cheaper. Hopefully I'll be back relatively quickly to give my progressive thoughts on this shoe as I take it closer to 50 Ks. But in the meantime, I'm really interested to hear what you think, if you've run in both of these shoes, or if you've liked or not liked either model. Let me know what you think in the comments below, but until the next video, laters.